land between the lakes is a national recreation area between Lake Barkley and Kentucky Lake on the state line between Kentucky and Tennessee. It's also a place where a family allegedly was slaughtered by a dogman, which has been said to have been covered up by a shadowy military-industrial complex. If y'all like these videos and want to see more, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. The story that's widely circulated in the cryptozoology community maintains that sometime in 1982, a family was slaughtered by a dogman while camping in the land between the lakes, just south of Grand Rivers, Kentucky. And the story was quickly covered up by mysterious governmental organizations. Allegedly, a father and son were camping in a tent some distance from their camper where the mother and daughter were sleeping. The father and son were killed on their way back to the camper. The mother was found torn apart inside, and the daughter's partially consumed remains high in a nearby tree. According to the folklore, local authorities were removed by a mysterious investigatory body, and soldiers from nearby Fort Campbell were called in to hunt the creature that had decimated the family. It's said that after the dogman was shot and killed, it took a large group of men to move its body onto a flatbed truck so that it could be driven away to be researched in some secret military lab. It was soon after that the whole incident was allegedly covered up by the governmental investigators. Before Tales of the Beast of the Land Between the Lakes made its appearance online, it appeared in William Linwood Montell's book, Ghosts Across Kentucky in 2000. However, the beast was described differently. One local that the author interviewed said that livestock were being found torn to pieces, that the creature left a large wolf-like track that a person's fist would fit in, and that it screamed like a woman and howled. The description wasn't a dogman, though. It was described as a mountain lion type creature that walked on its hind legs. The story seemed to change depending on the persons. The tale about the deaths of the family were first mentioned in Barton M. Nunley's 2007 book, Mysterious Kentucky, as well as the 2007 documentary Hunt the Dogman by Grendel Films. The informant was a paranormal investigator, Jan Thompson, who reported that she and her cousins had a brush with a dogman in 1978 in Grand Rivers, Kentucky, and also that she had heard about the murders of the family in 1982 from two police officers. Giving her cousins pseudonyms, she explained that her older cousin had been on a dirt bike in the woods behind the home, and that he had attracted the attention of a dogman that clawed his leg while trying to pull him from the bike. Rushing home, he, Jan, and a 9-year-old girl had just enough time to run into the house before the creature caught up to the young man. Jan said that they barricaded the doors and hid under the bed with kitchen knives. She said that when her aunt returned home from grocery shopping, the creature fled. It was the night of the murdered family, Jan continues, that two police officers that she knew, but gave pseudonyms as well, came into the gas station that she was working at and told her the story that's well known today. Curiously, none of Jan's information was included in Jeffrey Scott Holland's 2008 book, Where Kentucky, which detailed the encounter two campers said they had in 2004. The unnamed persons involved were four-wheeling on trails within the recreation area and saw what they described as a 7-foot-tall creature with glowing red eyes and a peculiar snout. One of the unnamed campers was apparently gripped by overwhelming feeling of dread and decided to leave the area immediately after returning to the campsite. Cryptozoologist Tim Baker brought the story to the YouTube community when his presentation was shared on August 21st, 2018 by a user, Abrahamic Faith. Since then, the story has been retold by others, often adding additional details to the story. For instance, some YouTubers have said that after alleged eyewitnesses come forward about what they know, they're soon visited by government agents who reassure them that they had seen a bear or threaten them into silence. This is an exact match to the contact with so-called men in black, who are often said to employ these same tactics to witnesses of unidentified aerial phenomena, right down to the unmarked vehicles. Another interesting note is that the name of the presentation shared by Tim was Nephilim Attack, LBL Murders. Mention of the Nephilim is important. The word Nephilim appears in the Hebrew Bible. It means giants. Some mystical sects interpret them to be the children of fallen angels. Later Tales of the Beast of the Land Between the Lakes depicted as a giant, and that it took many men in a large truck to transport the remains from the area. It's been observed that this part of the tale bears more than a striking resemblance to the story of the giant of Kandahar. On August 2016, L.A. Marzulli posted a tale about this giant on his YouTube channel Watchers. In the episode, he says that a deployment of United States Special Forces were attacked and subsequently killed one of these giants in Kandahar, Afghanistan in 2002. Like the more recent tales of the dogman create that slaughtered the family, it took a large number of men to load it onto a large truck. It was then allegedly moved onto a plane and flown to a secret military underground base for research and experimentation. On the Cryptid Studies Institute's YouTube video from March 28, 2021, the host interviewed an alleged survivor of the family massacre known as Roger. Roger claimed that when he was 15 years old, he went with the family on the ill-fated trip on April 7th. He identified the husband as Levi, the wife as Diane, the son is 13-year-old named Stephen, and the young girl is Connie. He refused to give their surname. He said that there were 2 dog men and that they were comparable to regular-sized men and looked more like German shepherds with black hair. He says that he survived hiding and running towards a road to flag down a passing motorist after the attack. He was taken to the man's farmhouse, and the man made a call. Soon after, government agents arrived and returned the boy to the site for questioning. It was then that military personnel arrived. Some elements of the tale by Jan Thompson seem to match up with an unsolved cold case from 1980 where the bodies of 2 young girls were found in the land between the lakes. On October the 5th of that year, the remains of half-sisters 16-year-old Vicki Lee Stout and 14-year-old Carla Sue Atkins were found in the Lost Creek area of Stewart County, the Tennessee portion of the recreation area. They lived in a modular home behind a store called the Dairy Dip in Dover, Tennessee. The restaurant was the hangout for local use in a town where there didn't seem to be much to do. They had just moved to the area 6 weeks before they disappeared on September the 17th. On that day, they were last seen walking along Highway 79 after 3 p.m. coming home from a store called The Furnace and stopped to talk to a man in a blue truck. According to eyewitnesses, the driver was a white man between 25 and 30 years old, weighing 165 to 170 pounds and had dark brown hair. When they didn't return home and it was close to their bedtime, the family called police to report them missing. After listening to their concerns, authorities concluded that the 2 young ladies were runaways, even though they hadn't brought anything like clothes with them. When their partially concealed bodies were found the next month by 2 hikers along Lost Creek off of a logging road in Stewart County, it was clear they had both been shot in the head by a hunting rifle. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation became involved because at the time the governmental body of the Tennessee Valley Authority had jurisdiction over the land. Autopsy reports signed by then County Medical Examiner Dr. James Spencer Bell dated December 9th listed date and time of death as unknown. It lists their bodies as decomposed and partially skeletonized. Even after interviewing multiple suspects, no one has ever been charged for the murders. Thank you for watching.